I just moved to New York. Well, it's actually been 3 years, but it feels like yesterday. I did it. I accomplished what so many out there could only dream of. And now I have to leave. There is quite a bit of backstory that leads me to this moment, and I promised myself that I would share it one day. That one day turned to 10, and then a few months, and then before I knew it, years flew by. And it feels like at every checkpoint, I always found myself asking over and over, what now? I was laid off last year, and with an H-1B visa, that's pretty much a death sentence. Don't worry, I've cried my tears already. Feels like I just got here. This is the corner of the very first apartment I subletted when I moved to the city, in the middle of the pandemic, to fulfill the dream I've been working towards since I was 13. I visited New York City for the first time with my mom, and coming from living on an island, everything here was so big and overwhelming. And yet, in a quiet garden in Central Park, I looked up to the sky, then over to her and said, I'm gonna live here one day. Of course, she laughed and said, you better work hard if you're gonna do that. And I did. From that moment on, everything I did was with that one goal in mind: to move to New York City, find out who I really am, and fulfill my dream of becoming a writer. So 3 years have passed. How much of that have I really accomplished? That does not look so good. I had never gotten a failing grade, ever. And the reason I've fallen behind on those things are few and far between, but they've been enough to stop me from picking up a pen, setting down a camera, and telling my stories. If you know me, you've probably seen me attempt to share a lot of things over the years. Photos, videos, graphics, even the manuscript for a YA novel I wrote 5 years ago. And if you've truly enjoyed it, thank you. You probably expressed it to me, and it means so much from the bottom of my heart. I've done so many things as that girl that's dreamed of doing so many things, creating things that's worth sharing and having people resonate with it in some way. And every time, without fail, there's something that comes along and halts me in my tracks, like right in between me trying and maybe succeeding. Anything from internal factors like my self-doubt or a lack of discipline, and external factors like complete exhaustion from trying to keep up with living in a city like this. I had dreamed and worked and lived, and before I knew it, that 13-year-old girl was turning 26 and sitting back as her dreams got ripped away. There is no one to blame but myself. For a very long time, I hated the version of myself that couldn't just work hard and do all the things and hustle and work a 9 to 5 and have the side gigs and still have my passion project and be a girl boss. It took me so long to realize that I just could not do it all. I am not wired that way. I resolved to giving everything to my job, and I figured I could sort the rest out later, sometime in the future. All the while, I'd be imagining the faces of people in my life that expected me to be great, and the faces of those that knew I was completely in over my head. 25 turning 26 these days is basically synonymous with running out of time, and one of the biggest milestones of my life is coming to an end. And I was honest with you, my entire life was focused on getting here and living in this moment, and I really did not think about what to do after that. I have 29 days before I have to leave New York City, and there's a lot that I've wanted to do here that I have not done yet, even in the 3 years that I've lived here, and I'm not leaving here without doing it all. So I made a list, a bucket list, if you will. 29 things in 29 days, and I'm gonna do them all. Some are gonna be quick and painless, like get a guitar. Others will be slow and painful and probably take way more than one attempt. Like finally rewriting the first chapter of my 5-year-old manuscript. Performing at an open mic here in New York City. Teaching myself to confidently dance in front of a crowd. Yeah, what am I thinking? But I'm doing this because it's only now that I have to leave that I'm fully realizing how lucky I was for my time here. Who knows when I'll be back, because I definitely will be back. But I'm really doing this so that in more ways than one, I can finish what I started. I am fully expecting many mental breakdowns in the middle of this that can try to stop me in my tracks. So every day I'll also be doing a little self-reflecting. So much of my identity is here. I might not have been born here, but it is my second home. And so, 29 things, 29 questions in 29 days. It is all so scary, but I have to do it. And I can't wait to share it all, because that way I can make sure that it's done. So, where do we go first? Together we'll find out. See you in the next one. Oh, come on, really today to do today? Ugh.